portray.
You know what was the worst part of me like taking edits from other people
Mm.
is like they shot a shitty product,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, yo, I want all these bells and whistles. Like they wanted me to put sugar on shit.
Yeah.
And it just frustrated me. I was like, dude, like your lighting is terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why did you shoot it? And I'm like I'm taking notes and circling certain things on the
Yeah.
project. And I'm like, why did you shoot it like this?
Yeah.
This looks terrible. You know what I mean? So like that's why I added, before you shoot, we need to have a consultation.
For sure.
Am I getting paid for the consultation? Of course I am.
Yeah.
That's my time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
I'm
my
going to
expertise.
turn you into a shooter.
For sure.
So that way you don't send me a shitty product. What's up, family? And welcome back to another episode of Post and Destroy. I am your host, Percy Robinson, and to the right of me is your boy,
Killer Cam, Coach Cam, affinitively known as the man.
the man with the master plan. So what's up, Cam? I mean, we had a pretty long and productive day.
Bro, we've had a long, productive 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been,
This been So I recently learned what sprints are, like in the tech world.
okay.
And pretty much it's like when you just like go hard for like 2 weeks, you sprint obviously, and then like you take a break.
Okay.
And so if you notice on that like Notion template, it has like little sprints. So it'll have like, what sprint is this work a part of? And it's
Gotcha.
because you like break it up the work. So it's a business thing.
Kind of like in the content world, batching,
Correct.
right?
Yep. Same thing.
Okay.
Same.
I think that's I think that process is great because you know what I mean, like you batch all your stuff, or you do get all the stuff that you need, all the important stuff done,
Yeah.
ready to go, clean slate, and then go on to the next step.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or just, I'm not saying taking days off, people, so don't come for me, but I'm just saying like you need a few days just to relax, reset and go again. You know what I mean? So like I'm not just saying go until you can't go anymore. Just like I think the sprints thing is a good idea.
Yeah. What do they call it? It's in exercise you take a active rest day.
Okay.
So it's not that you don't do anything, but you have a rest day from like heavy lifting, but you still actively do something. So like instead of like lifting hella heavy, you might like do like a light jog or go for a walk or something like that, or stretch or yoga or something.
Gotcha. Switching it up.
Yep.
Getting the muscle.
Batching's hard though.
Yeah.
I've been trying to batch the last 2 days.
Like batch.
Yeah. Batch crate. On the schedule, we had batch crate. And that's the thing, like, and I own a studio.
Yeah.
But I feel like and that's why I wanted to touch on that today with businesses when it comes to content, because business be business.
Bro, really.
You like got to see it firsthand the last.
Yeah. I think when I joined you, like I'm busier now, but in a different way.
In a different way, yeah.
Than I was when I was a freelancer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it's like sprints as a freelancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like as well, let me go ahead and ask you this, and like I can answer it too. Like as a business owner, like do you have time to create and batch content to push it out for for new clients,
Mhm.
older clients, etc.?
Yeah. Yes and no. So I always tell people, like, I don't have, and this is actually, in my opinion, probably one of the cases for most business owners, is that they don't have a content problem per se. Like, and what I mean by that is like, you're taking pictures, you're taking videos. You have a lot of the information you need to put it out there. It's a it's a editing and a building it's the same thing with the studio. A lot of our clients, they don't have a problem creating stuff. It's like it's the back end work. It's just like business. Businesses are built in the unsexy work.
Mhm.
It's not built wheeling and dealing. Like people be like, this ain't suits every freaking day, right?
Right.
Like businesses are legit fucking built on like admin,
Yeah.
but the shit that no one wants to do. And content, unfortunately, falls a lot of times to the wayside because that becomes a like, well, I don't have to do that right now.
Well, I agree with you, but I disagree with you in the same
Yeah.
sense, right? Like, there's a lot of business owners that are taking an older approach
Correct.
as far as like marketing and everything
Mm.
else, right? They're putting their ads in the flyer, using radio,
Yeah.
using like newspapers. I don't know if people get newspapers
Yeah.
anymore.
So I'm not saying that it doesn't matter. I'm saying that's the average business owner's mindset.
Right.
I believe it matters 1,000%.
Yeah.
Like, but like but most people, yeah, like unless they built their business with social media, that's a secondary thought.
Do you think they're afraid, this whole social media thing,
Hmm.
and these are business owners transitioning into the new world of content creation, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they're afraid of the unknown? You know what I mean? Like I'm used to this marketing way. Like I don't want to move to this because I don't know like how my ROI is gonna be.
Yeah. No,
Right.
yeah. It's a ROI thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's a mix. I think it's a mix of is they don't know how to judge it. Like they don't know how to like, well, how do I know I'm getting a return, right? So like when I was recruiting, you know, I used to tell everyone like I'll talk to anybody for 5 minutes, even if you're disqualified. And the reason why was because if I give that person 5 minutes to at least feel like they were listened to,
Hmm.
they're then gonna go out in the community and what they're gonna do, they're gonna tell everyone about, hey, even though they couldn't take advantage of it,
Hmm.
I have created an evangelist with information. And so, but old school marketing doesn't work like that. Like, correction, it does, but a lot of people don't understand that it does. That a lot of it is exposure. It's not the, oh, did you get a lead from the event you went to? Like, oh, of course everybody wants leads. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they don't matter. Everybody wants them, but like in a general sense, it's like these touch points, these psychological touch points that unfortunately are kind of hard to prove sometimes.
Hmm.
And it's like, and then the secondary piece of it is I think people don't understand the relationship building of it. Because old school marketing tells you build relationships with your
Right.
customers, with your vendors, with all these other people, right? Well, social media is they don't understand it because it's not, well, I don't say they don't understand it, but I don't think is as prevalent because they don't see the direct relationship being built. And so to them it feels inauthentic.
So you brought up a great point is relationships,
Mhm.
right? So we have the old school people of way of doing business and we
Yep.
have these new cats that
Yep.
were born into social media and everything else. I'm a firm believer of building relationships.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm a firm, even if it's online, because online, you can find out where events are at. You can go to the events and be like, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm so and so.
Yep.
I do X, Y, and Z,
Yep.
right? Um, like like a few events I went to in Napa, I built some really good
Mhm.
relationships, right? By going to these events,
Correct.
because no one's really going to know who you are and what you do unless you
Yep.
introduce yourself and tell them who you are and what you do,
Yep.
right? So I think it's a great thing to have a balance
Yeah.
of old school versus new school, but keep it in the media slash video realm
Yeah.
because that's where everything's going. That's where
For
everything
sure.
is at right now.
Yeah.
You know, the days of the yellow pages, the days of newspapers and everything else, I mean, it's pretty much over. It's
Yeah.
kind of like Blockbuster Netflix thing, right? You know what I mean? So like a lot of like everyone has one of these attached to them, you know what I mean?
What are them thangers?
One of them
Them
thangers, you
bangers.
know, one of them bangers. And they're constantly watching content either on, there's so many different social media apps, but YouTube, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. You guys get the gist of it, right? So that's why it's like for me, it's prevalent that business owners, at least the old school business, I think all business owners,
Yeah.
and not even business owners, business
Well,
professionals,
it's
I'll
a
just say that.
self-confidence thing too.
Huh?
It's a self-confidence thing too. A lot of business owners don't want to be on camera.
Well,
That's another
that
piece.
was gonna be my next point.
Okay.
You can make content without being on camera.
For sure. We made some really dope content without filming a thing.
Right.
And people are like, "Oh my god." And it's like, "Yeah,
Right.
bro, we did that without stepping out of this office."
Exactly. And here's the thing with that, right? There's so many different things that you can do with content. Content isn't just for the camera
Video
app,
or
video.
camera. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Content is
Screenshots.
screenshots, audio, pictures,
Yep. Old
blogs,
pictures.
old
Old
pictures.
posts.
Exactly.
LaRussell been doing
Recycling.
that.
Yeah.
He's been recycling like his old music video, and he's like, what is that? I saw this morning, and he said, I don't think anybody in this music video knew what this was gonna turn into.
Yeah.
Because it was one of his like, first videos before he blew up.
Recycling is a big thing,
I've
I
been trying
think.
to do more of that.
Yeah, I think you should. I recycle the shit out of Diabetes Kitchen.
I know, because I was like,
Like,
"Oh, is that new?" You're like, "No."
no, I used to take that a couple years ago. You know what I
Well,
mean?
but that's good. I mean, realistically, it's just like a TV show.
Yeah.
If you caught a TV show on episode 7, you're like, "Oh, I wonder what episode 1 was like."
The
The
reruns.
reruns.
And that's where being strategic in your
Yeah.
content lies, right? So like if I got a client today,
Mhm.
if a business person or a business professional came to me today, be like, hey Percy, like I need this type of I'm lost.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I don't know where to start. So basically, we would start a small campaign.
Mhm.
And I don't mean a campaign like, you know what I mean, like, the original way of campaigning, but
Yeah, yeah.
we would start with, like I would call it a media setup, right?
Mhm.
So where you have pictures of your product,
Mhm.
you have like we'll take a shitload of pictures of your product.
Yeah.
We'll take video of your product. If you want to be in the video, if you don't want to be in the
Mhm.
video, we can storyboard a lot of your stuff and make it a commercial type of story, right? We could also take advantage of doing long clips versus short clips. Take that
Mhm.
long clip, break it into short clips. So shoot as if like you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to shoot this long clip,
Mhm.
but then I'm gonna break it up into short clips so where I can put it into small different pockets like TikTok
Yep.
and know your audience as well.
Facts.
Know who you're speaking to.
Yep.
So that's why scripting is very important. You know what I mean? I know you guys want to freestyle and be like, yo, this is so and so with what, but we have to have some type of structure when it comes to your business. You know what I mean? Like, who are we talking to in your business? What pain point is this going to,
Yeah.
you know, what pain point is this going to attack on your avatar that
Yeah.
that you're speaking
Yeah.
to?
Well, I think that's so like when it comes to like the creation of this plan. So the other thing that people need to understand is like not one video is going to change the course of your business.
Of course not.
But so it becomes this balancing act because people don't want to spend money on it, right?
Mhm,
On the content, on the marketing, and a lot of people don't look at them as the same. They'll be like, "Oh, content is not the same as marketing." It's the exact same thing. It's
mhm.
just it's just it's just framed differently.
Exactly.
It's all marketing. You walking down the street wearing a t-shirt is marketing.
Mhm,
But but the problem is like then a business says, "Hey, make this video for me." Okay, cool. I want the script. I want the shot list. I want the shebang, right?
mhm,
And then, but the ROI they're now expecting, because something like that's going to cost you $500 to $1,000,
mhm,
you know, um, because of the work that goes into that. And so now they're like, well, shit, for a business, especially like a food business, something like that. It's like, man, I really got to recoup this $1,000 like as fast as possible. And that's where it's like it becomes hard because then you got to tell them like, hey, like this is not a one and done thing. Like you got to have a brand,
Mhm.
and then this video will kill it, or it can help jumpstart the brand. However, comma, like, you can't just post this and then walk away. Like,
Yeah.
this is a consistent thing, a
This
consistency thing.
I approach my clients like this. Like, this is a relationship.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't want to just shoot something and then we're done.
correct.
Because
We want to see you
consistency,
win.
yeah, that part, but consistency is everything, especially in the content creation game. Like, you have to, I mean, there's people that are just doing 3 posts a day. You know what I mean? On,
Bro, that shit is many.
yeah,
I'm trying to do that.
yeah, it's
Two,
hard,
two, three
right?
posts a day yeah, rough. And I take the content. That's the funny thing. Once again, but it's like it's it's hard. You got to get on there. You got to write the caption. You got
Mhm.
to tag any of the maybe applicable people. Add the music. Then
That's the easy part.
the easy part. But it's like, but once you add all that stuff,
Yeah, it's
I feel
like,
like shooting the content's the easy part. Posting it is, to me,
right.
is the hard part.
Um,
And it's not even like I give a shit what anybody thinks. It's just like I want to make sure that, like, I'm doing my due diligence for the content.
right.
I want to respect the content.
That's why I always say, like, in the beginning, before we even press record,
Yeah.
right? I hate that term again. just just press record. No, but before we press record, we have to have a game plan in place. You know what I mean? We have to know where every piece of content is going to be going. You got a long form video, okay, we're going to post it on YouTube. You got some shorts, we'll post it on Instagram, TikTok, and do Facebook shorts, right? So we have to be mindful of what it is that we're doing, because if we just go with no plan, we're just recording content
Yep.
for free.
Faux free.
And the whole thing that you brought up is like people don't want to pay for it,
Yeah.
but people will pay for their time.
Yeah, and that goes, like, to something that, you and I have talked about is, um I think a lot of content makers, and honestly even business owners, fall short because they don't know how to properly frame the value of something.
Right.
Um Especially something you're hella passionate about. Like, it can be very hard to not get excited. And when we were doing recruiting, we would call it benefits dumping. Like, oh, you're gonna get the pay and the medical benefits and the education benefit, da, 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 da," rather than, like, this person literally just said, like, they want to be off the street. Hey, bro, you're gonna have a home, you're gonna have a roof over your head and money in your pocket,
Hmm.
and you'll never have to live on the street again. Boom.
Basic.
Like, basic. I was like that when I joined the military. I walked in the door and I was like, look, bro, I don't even need none of that. Are you gonna give me money? Are you gonna give me food? Are you gonna put a roof over my head? And are you gonna give me a job? And they're like, yep. And I said, bet, where I signed, bro.
Exactly. I think that simplicity is where I almost messed that word up.
Simplicity.
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 That simplicity of that, like, some business owners, they're like, yo, I don't need all the fluff. I don't need all
Yeah.
of this,
Well, because
you
then
know.
they feel like you're trying to game them.
Exactly.
It's like, nah, bro. Like, hey, look, I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna create 15 days of content for you off this 4-hour session. It's gonna cost you $1,000, but it's gonna save you 25 hours.
Right. And with these, and basically they just want to run their day to day. Like,
100%.
there's so many times people came up and were like, hey, Percy, like, I want to do this, but I don't got time for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I got to run my day to day business. I mean, you seen what we had to do today, like meetings
Bro,
and
business
yeah,
be
business.
businessing. And that's what I tell people is like, man, they be thinking like I just be in this fucking studio just like shooting content. I'm like, yeah, I do for everybody else.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know and then, but like setting up and or just like improving the office, like all those things come with time. And some people say, oh, like, do a time lapse of you like updating the studio. And I'm like, you're right, I do those things. That's why I say I don't have a content problem. I got all that shit.
Yeah.
Every project I've done in here, I have a time lapse of the wall I did the other day with the kids, but you ain't seen
Yeah.
it.
It's just putting it all together. That's the thing. Like, you know how much content of mine I'm sitting on? Like
I
I
still gotta
have
show
it,
you Guam.
huh?
I still gotta show you
Yeah,
Guam.
exactly. It's it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. Getting in the business is cool.
Yeah.
Have money in your pocket is good.
No, yeah.
But like I kind of want to go back to like having some of my passion projects done. And
Mhm.
you kind of helped me with that problem because like now like I don't have to do all the editing. Like
Mhm.
we got someone to do it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I just gotta, learn to let go of the reins. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so that's like so I always ask people, business owners who we talk to, right, is what is the scalability of this idea? Straight up. What's the scalability? And what I mean by that is like, if you're growing this to what you t-shirt business. Okay, cool. Right now, you buy the t-shirts wholesale, you print the t-shirts, you do all that shit. Cool. Is this scalable to where you can make money without you being in the room? Because I'll tell everybody, if that's not the case, then you don't have a business.
No.
You are self-employed at that point, you know? And so, that's why it's nice now, like that we have partners like you, because it's like now we can make money without being in the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a whole. Because now same thing, you're making money without even editing.
Yep.
Now you just like, hey man, I don't like it. Add this. Like, do you ever think you get to that point where now
No.
you're like, I don't even have to do it. I just get to critique it and then get paid to critique it.
So you know what the crazy part about it is? Like I never thought about that is because like I am borderline like hands on everything.
Well, most solopreneurs are.
Like
They have control issues.
like even as a creator, like if I have an idea in my head,
Yeah.
I know how that idea goes.
Yeah.
Like editing my stuff, like it's a breeze because
Mm-hmm.
I know what I
Because
want
you
to say.
shot it,
Yeah, I
you know
shot
what
it.
you're trying to.
Yeah, so my antenna should have risen at that time, right? I should have been like, man, this dude's up to something. So I get the footage and like he gives me this disclaimer, like as I get the footage, he's like, oh, by the way, there's gonna be some things that you're gonna have to. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm looking at the footage and I'm like, dude, who the fuck shot this shit?
What?
You know what I mean? But
It was organized well though.
it was very organized to the point where I knew who shot what. You know what I mean? But Cam tested my gangster, and like I guess I passed the
You
test
passed the test.
because the client ended up loving the project.
Loved it.
But yeah, I mean,
And isn't that fun? And that's that critical creator in us.
yeah.
Is like, I mean, well, honestly, I knew that they would like it, but I know you were like, oh, guess we're gonna see what
I,
happens.
I was sweating, bro. Like I was sweating. I was like, man, I hope they like this. Like, because I wasn't, even though I put it together, I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah. Well,
You
you didn't shoot it.
Well, yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
shoot it.
But that's like a testament too. I think when it comes to content, is like communication is a big key. Um, so for instance, like we had a client recently, and we made a great video for them, and they came back and was like, we want you to take this out, take that out, do this, do that. And it I mean, to us as creators, we're like, you ruined the video.
Yeah.
But that's what they wanted.
It was the one that you showed me.
Yeah.
That I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we agreed on it.
Yes.
Without you telling me about it.
Yes.
I was like, I like this one better. He's like, I know,
I know.
right?
I know you like this one better.
I know, right?
Who wouldn't like this one better?
Like,
And so, but that's that thing that's like at the end of the day, like we can only control what we are responsible for. If you say it's like someone if they want their car painted bubblegum pink, the car painter is gonna be like, probably not a good idea, but if that's what you want to pay for,
right.
I'm gonna paint the shit out this bubblegum pink.
So I feel two ways about that, right?
Okay.
And you may not like the first one, but all money ain't good money, first of all. Second of all, like, I hate arguing with the client as far as the creative process. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I hate being like, dude, this is going to look like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, 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 no. I had this idea, I was online and they pulled it off. I'm like, bro, like.
Well, so I have two responses to your two responses. First one is you're right. Not all money is good money. Um, However, most money is fair money.
You're right.
And so now the second one is that is where as a so that is where the confidence as a business owner, not a creator, comes
Yeah.
into play.
Hmm.
Because you have heard me have conversations now with our clients to where even if they want to okay, go ahead, we'll get it done for you. And then when they say they don't like it, I let them know this is why I brought those concerns up at the beginning. And now because you want me to take it back, that will cost you money because that
Mm.
is now time.
Right.
I gave you a good edit. You said you wanted the edit changed. Fair enough. That was in the contract. You get your one re-edit, two re-edit,
Mm.
whatever. At the end of your suggested re-edits based off you as the client who is paying me money, you don't like the final edit and you want to go back to the one that I originally gave you, well now you will pay for that original one.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is business. You're right. You are the paying client. And the client is not always right, but the client will get what they ask.
No, you're right.
I know.
You're right. Um, I told one person, you know what I mean? Like we went through this whole like back and forth, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it your way,
Yep.
but here's the thing: don't put my name on that shit.
Yeah.
Like you can have it. I don't want credit for it. Don't tag me on it. Nothing.
Don't put no damn filter on that shit.
Exact. Oh my. Then you
We're
get
not gonna go down
okay,
that.
because that rabbit hole, like,
For all
bro,
of our photographers, I know that's a thing.
like you don't. Okay, I know we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole, but I just want to say, just to the people that do that, you don't know how long it takes to be on Lightroom or whatever editing program that you have to perfect those photos, and then you put a Instagram
You
filter
put a
on it.
little London on it,
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
Tokyo,
It's crazy that you
a
know the
little a
name.
little Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I will block you
Little San
so fast.
Francisco.
Yeah. They'd get blocked so fast for that shit. Cause that's just disrespectful. That's
Yeah.
like if you cook a meal, you season it really good,
Yeah.
right? And then you know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? I don't even use the filters. I just have a really good memory.
Yeah. I mean, I once you said Tokyo, I was like, okay, I know what you're talking about
Yeah.
now. But it's just disrespectful, bro. Like, you know what I mean? You get these professionally done edits and you don't use them. Or you're rushing me to edit like a reel or a
Yeah.
short and you don't post it.
Yeah. So we talked about that though too.
Well, that's why I don't do posts. Like if someone asks me to do a reel for them, I don't do it for free. I'm just gonna let you guys know that
No,
right now.
correct. That's what I mean. It's like at the end of the day, if they pay for it and don't
Yeah,
post it, that's on them. Like that one client you did that stuff for.
yeah,
Have you seen any of that?
no,
You probably won't for like a year.
yeah,
But guess what? They paid for it,
exactly. Yeah.
and that's business.
Oh yeah. Like if they pay for it, fine. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're basically paying for my time to
Correct.
create something dope for you. Amazing, right? But if you come to me, but hey Percy, I was wondering if
On GP.
you know, or you get exposure. Exposure?
Yeah, that's a.
I'm like, bro,
Now, what I will say is, uh, I'm not against giving discounts for exposure based off the person's audience. So like I was telling you about the one client that we have coming in, and they were upfront about it. Hey, I'll push the hell out of the studio. I'm just looking for you to, and it wasn't nothing crazy. It was like a little thing, but they have an audience that and they have other potential customers. I'm cool.
right?
You're opening me up to a whole new customer base I didn't even think about.
Yeah.
So that, and it's but that's where it's like, but not everybody gets that.
No.
There's very particular situations where, as a business owner, you will make deals based off of, like for instance, you come here and you sign a 1-year contract, and you guarantee you're gonna pay me this much. I'll give you the discount.
Yeah.
I ain't got no problem saying it on camera because I will. That's good business.
Mm-hmm.
But don't be coming in here like, oh, I got me a little cool little 10,000 followers. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Get out of here, bro.
Pay me or pay me no mind.
Get out of here, my guy.
So here's another thing, real quick. because you did bring up a
He got
great
all
point.
he got all deep with it. Like, listen here, little shorty.
I do have a deep voice, but when I'm animated, like it goes up a few. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
like,
I don't have a deep voice, so
yeah. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say.
sorry.
You know, you
I have
just
that
messed up.
effect.
You messed up my Barry White flow. You know.
I was saying that just get your little 10,000 followers out of here.
Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, as a creator,
Mm.
um, my problem is like I have these big old visions. Like when a client comes to see me, I'm like, yo, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this.
I've witnessed the throw up, as I
You
call
know,
it.
like like I want to do so much for the client, right? But that price tag kind of high for what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, like I want them to succeed. I want them to have the best of the best look. Am I going to give you the best look for a price? You know what I mean? Of
Hmm.
course I am. But all the bells and whistles that come with it that
For
I
sure.
really want to do, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would love to, you know what I mean, push these big projects.
Yeah.
But, you know, people will be like, it's great, but I can't afford it. And I ain't mad at it. You know what I mean? Like I understand what we're in, but people pay for what they really want.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I
and
mean?
that's just, I mean, and there's nothing. So, kind of like we talked about the other day is like, there's like stair steps, and there's no problem with stair stepping a client to, hey, I think this could go here, there, and everywhere. However, I know your budget can only support here right now. So we'll cross those bridges as we as we get to them. And I think, but that's passion though, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, and that's why I say is passion will get them. Passion will get people through the door. Business is what will get the money in your account.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And
You're right.
execution. Dollar
Dollar
bills, y'all.
dollar bills, yo. Like I'm in this business to help people, to help people out with their visions.
Yep.
Also help people make money with those visions.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Bring that to life. Like I don't want you to look like everybody else on the internet.
Yep.
And we talked about this on other episodes. Like I want you to be able to stand out, and that's my job
Yep.
to make sure that you stand out above everybody else because everyone's been doing video. Everybody's doing video. Let's keep it above.
Mm-hmm.
But not everyone's doing professionally edited videos,
Yeah.
especially if you have a business or if you're a business professional, you're a realtor or whatever. You need to invest in a media team ASAP. And I'm not saying that because this is what I do, but I'm saying this because this is what I know.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're coming in as the professional.
Yep. Oh,
You want
just FYI too. Only 18% of podcasts are video.
really?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
And what is it? I gotta look up the. I mean, these are all rough numbers, and I'm pretty sure it's like 80% of podcasts don't make it past episode 25.
Well, we're gonna make it pass.
I mean, for sure. So that's why I say, like, if if you can beat the data,
Yeah.
so
Well,
that's what I mean. Do a podcast in your restaurant.
yeah.
Boom. And you dedicate an hour, and you can get 30 days of clips out of a 1 hour conversation.
Exactly. Talking about like what you have, where you're
Exactly.
located.
Yep.
Basically talking about the same stuff. Not the same stuff because me and Cameron in a different niche, but talking about the same stuff. That's what's happening in your business,
Yep.
how you can get access, how we can help you with your business, right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's important.
That's honestly why that's why I like podcast. I tell people all the time is like podcasting. It is the best business relationship building tool you will ever have access to, because if I ask you for a meeting, you may not give me a meeting, but if I invite you onto my podcast to talk about yourself, so the founder of North Face,
Mm-hmm.
the clothing company,
Yeah, I know.
he hasn't come on yet, but like I have his email to come on the podcast because he's in, and that's just because I'm a part of a group, and I send him a message and say, hey, I'd love to have you on the podcast, and he's like, oh yeah, cool, He's like, you guys can come to my house,
I didn't realize how important podcasts were
bro.
until like, because I watch a few, like I'll watch The Pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Ryan Clark, Steeler fan.
Yep.
Hey, yo.
I watched Real AF. Shout out Andy.
Okay, there we go. But like, I don't really like, I never really got into podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then I came here, I was like, man, this is a way where you can talk about the things that
Yeah.
you do on a daily basis to advertise,
Yep.
advertise, and tell people exactly what you do, what
Yeah.
your business is.
Yeah.
And it goes out on a wider, you know what I mean? That's why I say every business should do something like this.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like you have a few businesses that come in here and like have a dedicated podcast for the stuff that they do.
Yeah.
And they want, on-site shooting and everything else, which that's amazing. That is investing in your business because that is going to go
Yep.
out there. And quit trying to be like, oh man, I want to go viral. Bro, what are we, 16?
So I know people who've gone viral and they still work their day jobs.
Yeah.
Like it
Me
doesn't
too.
it don't really do much
No.
unless the people who actually make money off it are the people who have a business
And that are consistent.
and then are consistent. It's not the people who like the algorithms ain't paying you. Correction. YouTube will pay the hell out you. I will say that. YouTube will pay the hell out of you. However, it's not even attached to likes. People don't understand that. It's attached to how long people stay on your videos.
Exactly.
You could have one like, but have 100 people watch your video all the way through, and that will be better than
That's
that
where
one
the
like.
money at.
That's where the money's at.
That's the CPM and the RPM.
Boom. There you go. We're gonna do a
Boom.
class. We're gonna have Percy do a class on that. And
Yeah.
so, but I tell people all the time, especially when it comes to podcasting, especially business owners, it is not about the money you will make off the platforms. It is about the relationships you will build with your guests.
Exactly.
Back to relationships.
Connecting people.
Yep. All right.
All right. Well, we kind of ran a little bit over on this, but
I don't like to give us bumpers too.
well,
I think we're good. We're under 45.
Yeah, no. I was just looking at it and I was like, oh my god, like
We be
man,
talking.
we're really passionate about this.
We be talking.
We be talking. You know what I mean? But I think this episode was really important because like it's been running heavy on my heart to really have this conversation for other business owners, just to let them know, put that in their mind.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I guess we're going to end this on the way I ended, unless you got something to say.
Nope.
All right. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for taking the time and listening to this podcast. You guys could be anywhere in the world, but today you decided to be right here with us. And for that, we thank you. Make sure you like, you subscribe, and click the bell so you know every time we drop a new episode. And in the meantime, in between time, holla at ya boy. Peace.